people are tweeting you that I said you either stood in the way of an extraordinary industry or were utterly unable to prevent a massive bubble. Do you think Bitcoin has inherent value and is a store of value? Or do you feel that we look back on it 10, 15, 20 years from now, it's going to be something from the 18th century with tulips?
In terms of Bitcoin, we at the SEC have never said it's a security.
Well,
what
do you think? You taught at MIT. I think you know. You got to have some kind of feeling. You've read the books, Bitcoin Standard.
Yeah. I think that Bitcoin is a highly speculative, volatile asset, but with 7 billion people around the globe, 7 billion people want to trade it, just like we do have gold for 10,000 years. We have Bitcoin. It might be something else in the future as well.
Oh my God, you own Bitcoin.
That's where the public, that's why the public
needs
disclosure.
That's what it's,
I don't,
you love
I've
it.
never owned,
you love it. You don't like those other coins.
I've never owned any of these, and I've been consistent for 7 or 8 years on this.
Well, now you can, because you won't be a SEC chair anymore.
It's going to be hard to find someone who, on his own and in concert with other brutal actors, will do more damage to Bitcoin and the broader crypto industry. What's going on here? Than Dirty Gary Gensler. Good riddance. I hope that no one gives you a no-show job on a board for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, just for sitting in there for that quid pro quo type of BS that goes on behind closed doors politically. It hurts to know that he'll do all right. And in fact, I get these weird fantasies where, like I'm in New York or Washington or something. A little music for this one. And I'm at a restaurant. And I look over to my side, and holy smokes, it's Gary Gensler. He's sitting there with his family. I think, should I go up and talk to him? Is this impolite to go confront him in front of his family? I think, well, he deserves it. He's in public office. He knows what he's getting into. And then I go up to him and I give him a 2.5 4 of how he's ruined so many people's lives, and I feel bad for his kids that are sitting there. Your kids have to the legacy of Gary Gensler. You're gonna have to live underneath this horrible legacy of what your dad did to Bitcoin and the broader crypto market. That's it. Good riddance, Dirty Gary Gensler. I hope we never see you again, ever. So here's the good news and the bad news. We did have a little bit of a pump yesterday. As you can see here, we went up to, we wicked out at 100.7. I'll take it. It's fine. However, we'll get to the broader Bitcoin chart on the daily. This is what I'd loosely expect under normal market conditions to retest the 200 moving average at 97.3. This is what a normal market would do in chop suey price mincer, which we're in. We are that 100K. She's a psychological little so-and-so. And speaking of Andrew Tate there, I had some off topic here. I had some shorts that I made of his thing that he did, like he's running for the Bruv company, Bruv party or whatever. So I made some shorts, and they were just the normal dialogue you'd hear of anyone kind of doing that thing. And YouTube instantly community guideline that there's nothing wrong with what he was saying. It was just like, him rambling about why society should be better. And it just instantly. So I guess you can't really, post things about Andrew Tate on this sensorial little so-and-so we call YouTube. Anyway, back to business here. I would expect to retest the 200 moving average under normal market conditions because the bulls have petered out. Now the bulls have petered out less than they did. They have less strength than they did a week ago or so. Yeah, well, that was last Monday or Tuesday. Now, we should get support from the 20 moving average, which is going to cross bullish over the 200, which is nice. But we saw it here and immediately crashed again, right? So what we want to do is we want to hold this 200 at all costs, because let's go to the daily and we'll see how this plays out in a larger scale. This is what I don't like. The fact that we have here put in our third lower high. That's just, it's not good for the bullish romance of this bull market. As you can see, we are having a little bit of a turn down here early Thursday morning. And now what we don't want to see is, what we did want to see is a higher high here at least. I mean, best case scenario, obviously, all-time highs. But unless we have enough bullish oompah to get past the previous high, which was right here at 102, which I've been going on ad nauseum, what are we going to do? I would expect a push down, a retracement, if you will, which we're kind of seeing following this arbitrary doodle that I drew in a long time ago. Our first point, 97.6. This is the support on the daily, this channel of eternal monotony. Did that correspond with the 297.6 on the daily? 200 is 97.3. Yeah, so we're in the same vicinity of that 200-day moving average support over on the 4-hour chart. Now we want to keep that. It's just as important as the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. This to me is, you're bullish over it, you're bearish underneath it, no matter what. We could have a real pump day here, like back Tuesday. We hit our head on 200. As bullish as that is, unless we're over the 200, we're really talking about continued downward pressure. So generally, when you see these three peaks of weakness, pianomattyb, they're pumps. Yeah, they're pumps, but they're pumps that are expressing loss of strength. So do we have any examples of a continued downward pressure after? Let's go down back here. Where are we here? Well, this is a big chart. So here we are in the summer bummer. Let's make this a little bigger so everyone can see it. High, didn't make it. Lower high, continued down. And now right here is interesting because we have this was our third failed attempt at a higher high. And we had, was this the August? Yeah, this was the Japan carry trade mayhem that went all the way down to 40. Let's just go back down memory lane here. August 1st. Anyway, I had to think about that one. August 1st. How long ago was that? Was that half a year ago? Half a year? That means Duke is almost 10. Ah, my God. I can't believe it. 6 months ago, we were at 48.9. 100% from August. Pretty crazy. Anyway, the big takeaway here is, so for instance, higher high, lower high, arguably the same high, maybe mincing words there. Lower high, boom, katank. I mean, there's a lot of fundamentals that play into this cantankerous downward pressure. But the takeaway from here is that the next time we tried to rally up, we didn't get as much either, but the next low was higher. And that basically, after that, we were off to the races. So let's just play that out. Let's say we do get continued bearish pressure from this lack of bullish oompah, and we come down. If we can somehow candlestick anywhere above 94.5, to me, that would say that we are potentially off to the races as far as this downward play. Doesn't mean we can't wick. We might have I can't see us wicking underneath 89.8. I hate saying that because now I feel like the gods of TA are like, oh yeah, you don't think so? Well, hold my beer and then wick away. So this is what I'd probably see trying to hold 97.6, which is also in and around the 200 moving average of the 4-hour chart. That would be hella support. Breaking that, we would likely see maybe a complete retracement back to see. Can you see that what happened on the weekend here at this 94.6 level? This was really market Xanadu, bears and bulls shaking hands, having cigarettes on Christmas Eve with kicking a soccer ball around, complete neutrality. I would expect to maybe give up all gains back to that before we start up. Now, we don't have a lot of time to do this because January 20th is coming, and there's going to be some or none incredible bullish fundamental. Now, whether we see with the thumbnail of Russia, there's a lot of rumors going on about nation states front running. How this is the easiest trade in the world of geopolitics if people were smart. But I don't believe the people in those powers are that smart. They're surrounded by Keynesian PhDs, which know how to, mow this economic lawn with this economic lawnmower, and anything outside of that lawn or that lawnmower, they think stupid. They don't understand, right? Even though everything outside of it makes more sense. So they're surrounded by naysayers, and there might be a couple of squeaky wheels that are like, might be the trade of the century to front run the U.S. government. What could hurt? What could hurt? Like, what is the real downside? Seeing as though they're all printing money anyway. It's not like they're going into some bank account. Like for us as normal people, when we want to DCA into Bitcoin, what do we got to do? We got to take our time that we've leveraged and stored in fiat currency and put it into Bitcoin. We don't have endless money printers to facilitate our need for Bitcoin. We have to work it. There's proof of work for the retail proletariat like myself and like most of you. So what is the downside for these nation states when they're just really boring into oblivion and printing? They're just pulling a Michael Saylor, and then they can actually change the course of their entire country's status by front running the biggest geopolitical and economic powerhouse in the entire world, maybe the history of the world, by simply buying Bitcoin before they announce it. Now, are they doing that? It's all kind of strategic Bitcoin reserve porn at this point. We like to think that they are doing that, and maybe they are front running. To me, like as a Canadian sitting here behind the maple curtain, there's really only one power play Canada can do, and that would be to buy Bitcoin. Now, will they do it? If I had to wager on the proficiency of the Canadian government power apparatus, I'd say no. They haven't done anything that has proven their worth other than destroying Canadian economy and the fabric of Canada. Really, it's not the same thing as it used to be. So I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt that they would be smart enough, first off, just smart enough economically, because you got to think about all these, these 200 to 400 PhDs that work for all governments. They're not trained in this, so in their defense, they're not trained for this. They're not, how could it's not part of their job description to think outside the box. They're just money printer accountants. So what do they really know? Nothing. Anyway, I digress. Over on the weekly, we are still just following this random doodle to a T. Now, what is our close green price for this week? Way down, 94.4. Now, what was the correlation between 94.4? Is this where this was? Yes. You can see this is where we had market Xanadu, 94.4. So if we were to give back this week's gains, which really is just the fluctuation of a market doing nothing. Make no mistakes. It is. I think we all felt better because we're not at 89. The $10,000 move from 89 to 99 made us feel better. But it's really just the price mincer chop suey. Nothing really happened this week except for we were just oscillating amongst the range. Lines and doodles, a.k.a. Astrology for Men. I just finished recording that song, actually. I put it sounds like, to me, the way I produced it, it almost sounds like the theme from Friends. A little bit. I've noticed that a lot of the crypto songs that I've been recording, they kind of sound like TV theme songs, which are sitcom, which makes sense because I'm a huge fan of TV theme songs, and maybe that's the charm of the upcoming crypto album that I will be releasing. I don't know how many songs, 10 or 12. It may take longer than I expected because I want to have a double side. I want to, like, I'll have my songs, my versions, and I want to have Duke's versions. So I bet you Duke will be, if it takes me a month to record my vocals, I bet you it'll take him a couple days. He's got the gift of pitch. Chadwick, Matty, I'm the kind of guy that's really concerned about all these Chinese spy stuff popping up in the news. Yeah, all these hot air balloons going on. Who's to say what they are? All these drones too, all these UFOs. The problem is with any of the alien stuff is that, I'm open to anything just as much as the next weirdo in Bitcoin. However, when the government starts saying it's true, I'm out. I no longer care as soon as they say it is what it is, or they're trying to tell me to believe in something. Look at Lizzie Dubs right there. Did you see her get wrecked on that little meme that's going out? It's funny, like how they can sit there in their shame, because all those Senate hearings, that's the shame cycle for the pre and post. What they do is they shame you in and they shame you out. Part of their karmic deliverance, if you were in that higher concentrated concentric circle of power and money. Duke, he says, I will be making those vocals. Have you smashed the likes yet? 51 likes. We're going to get a shout out this week from Duke, unfortunately. On the monthly, this is bullish. I mean, it's not hella bullish, but I tell you one thing. It's way better than 2 red candles in a row. Because listen, we haven't had 2 red candles in a row since way back July 23. So over a year. The precedent would be setting 2 monthly red candles. Now, even in the summer bomber, we just exchanged green for red. Downward. We had downward pressure the whole time. But we never put in 2 red candles in a row. So keep your peepers on that one in this summer bomber, right? It's going to be dicey because my prediction for the bull cycle is that we do have a April peak of 244 and then a summer bummer. And then when everyone nervously sells out, we have another higher peak. 562? Is that what it is? 562, 244, 562, something like that. That's under relative normal market conditions. I mean, with the strategic Bitcoin reserve, if that comes into play, your guess is as good as mine as far as how high the price can go. If that is it, when people talk about the $1 million Bitcoin, I mean, eventually we all know will go to $1 million, but will it go to $1 million this cycle, 2025? The dad who errs on safety and caution says, no, I can't see it, because we haven't even had a God candle yet, let alone a Omega candle. So Omega candle being 100,000, God candle being 10,000. We haven't really seen it. Will we? I don't know. January 20th may be that day. However, could it be this is the greatest play out for January 20th. We have the third lower high, which does signify weakness in the market, and I would think the quant bots would start selling their algos. Sell. I would like to see maybe continued downward pressure over the weekend into January 20th, and that's when we have the positive fundamentals. Because I don't really want positive fundamentals on a raging pump. It would just logically, it would make sense that we would have the contrarian sell the news event. So what are we going to do here? Hopefully we have the downward action and January 20th comes and boom, we get that massive spike. Now, here's the thing. This is a key metric to keep your peepers on. If we do get that spike on January 20th, we got to get over that all-time high. If we have that January 20th spike and we don't close above 108 like candlestick, we need the candlestick a higher high. Then we might be in for a little bit of a disappointment, maybe peaking out at 120. I don't know. This, to me, as soon as the strategic Bitcoin reserve comes into play, I don't know. I'm going to throw up my hands and say, I'm not sure, because at that point, I mean, our wildest dreams of Bitcoin bullish prowess may happen.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video.